You know what's funny? Most women think men are simple creatures, that the only thing they crave is that one obvious kind of kiss. But that's where they miss it completely. Because the truth is, the places that make a man melt aren't just about his body. They're about his mind, his pride, and his heart. The right kiss in the right place can flip a man's emotional switch faster than any word ever could. See, when you kiss a man right, you're not just touching his skin, you're touching his ego, his emotions, his confidence. It's not the lips alone, it's the message that comes with it. I see you. I value you. I desire you. And that right there is the magic that most people never learn. Now let's get real. Every man has 3 spots that drive him absolutely wild when you kiss him there. And no, we're not talking about anything explicit here. We're talking about those subtle, overlooked, powerful zones that light him up from the inside. Because when a woman knows how and where to kiss a man, she becomes unforgettable. So let's start with the first one, the one that tells him you see the man behind the armor, place Fanny 1, his neck. There's something electric about a kiss on the neck. Not just because it's sensitive, but because of what it represents. The neck is one of the few places on a man's body where he feels both powerful and vulnerable at the same time. When you kiss him there, slowly, deliberately, you're not just showing affection, you're telling him, you can relax with me. Every man carries tension in his neck and shoulders. It's where he holds his stress, his worries, his need to stay on control. And when a woman comes close enough, lets her breath linger near his skin, and gives that soft, reassuring kiss, something in him melts. That's not a random act, that's emotional permission. Matthew Hussey always talks about this, that real attraction comes from emotional safety mixed with excitement. That's what a neck kiss gives him. It tells his subconscious that this woman knows when to lead and when to comfort. It's not about dominance or submission, it's about harmony. And let's be honest, most men won't admit it, but they crave that balance. A kiss on the neck tells him he doesn't have to be the tough guy for a moment. It's your way of saying, I see how strong you are, but I also see the man beneath it. That's why it's so powerful. It hits his masculine pride and his emotional need at the same time. Now here's the first keynote. A kiss isn't about where your lips land, it's about the emotion you communicate through it. When you kiss him with presence, not just passion, that it tells him something words can't. Most women think attraction is about grand gestures, but men remember the moments that felt real, the quiet touch, the gentle breath, the unexpected kiss on the neck that made him feel like the world stopped. And if you ever doubt it, think about the last time you saw a man close his eyes when someone kissed his neck. That tiny involuntary smile, that soft sigh. That's not lust, that's surrender. That's him letting go of the weight he carries every day. So yes, the neck might seem simple, but it's the place where trust and desire collide. And when you master that, you don't just get his attention, you get his loyalty. Because here's the truth, men are starving for emotional connection, but they often only know how to access it through physical touch. And the woman who learns how to give him that in a way that feels safe, playful, and emotionally charged becomes the one he never forgets. In this way, your kiss becomes a language. It says what your voice doesn't have to. It's like whispering, you can stop fighting the world now. You're home. And that's the kind of energy that builds real intimacy, the kind that keeps a man hooked long after the moment ends. You'd be amazed how often the smallest gestures carry the biggest messages. A kiss doesn't always have to be fireworks. Sometimes it's the quiet ones that stay in his mind for days. Once you understand that, you begin to see that men, just like women, crave tenderness in unexpected ways. So let's move to the second place every man secretly wants you to kiss, a place that tells him you see his worth, not just his looks. Place fate 2, his hands. Most people don't realize how intimate a simple touch can be. When you take a man's hand and hold it, trace it, or place a soft kiss there, you're doing something powerful. You're telling him, I notice the things you do. I appreciate what you build. I see the effort you make. Our hands tell a story. They carry calluses from work, scars from life, or the strength that protects and provides. When you kiss his hand, you're not worshiping him. You're honoring the man who tries every day. It's subtle, old-fashioned even, but it hits deep because it speaks to his pride in a gentle way. Here's keynote 2, men fall in love when they feel valued for who they are, not just what they give. That kiss on the hand is like saying, I see the man behind the effort. It's quiet confidence. And confidence, especially when it comes from a woman who's sure of herself, is magnetic. Men don't talk about it, but they crave that sense of being appreciated without needing to earn it. When a woman leans in and gives that kind of soft, reassuring affection, it tells him he's more than enough. It relaxes his guard. It gives him space to just be. You'd be surprised how many men associate their hands with identity, their work, their creativity, their ability to protect. So when you acknowledge that through touch, it hits both his mind and his heart. And that's what attraction really is, a blend of emotional awareness and physical presence. Matthew Hussey always says, the difference between chemistry and connection is awareness. You can have chemistry with anyone. Connection comes from being present. That's why a kiss on the hand is underrated. It's tender, it's classy, and it lingers because it's unexpected. It's a reminder that love doesn't have to be loud to be real. Now let's move to place Fanny 3. His forehead. If the neck was passion and the hands were admiration, the forehead is peace. When you kiss a man's forehead, you're telling him something no words can express. I've got you. You're safe here. Forehead kisses are the emotional reset button in any relationship. They say, you don't have to prove anything right now. They're protective, nurturing, grounding. Think about in the world he moves through every day, he's expected to stay composed, powerful, and unshakable. That kiss breaks through all that noise and gives him stillness. Here's keynote 3. The most unforgettable intimacy isn't born from passion. It's born from comfort and safety. That's what keeps a man emotionally loyal, because while attraction may bring him close, peace keeps him there. A forehead kiss, especially from a woman he respects, carries emotional weight. It says, you don't have to wear your armor with me. And when he feels that he connects you with calm, something he doesn't find easily in the world. Keynote 4, when a man associates peace with your presence, he will always crave coming back to you. That's the secret few people talk about. Attraction isn't just fire, it's rhythm. It's knowing when to spark and when to soothe. A kiss on the forehead at the right time can fix what 1,000 arguments can't. It's like you're telling him, I see you trying, I see your tired eyes. Come here, rest a second. And that's exactly what makes it so intimate, not the act, but the feeling. Now, before we wrap this part, here's keynote 5. Real intimacy is never about technique, it's about intention. Every place you kiss, whether it's his neck, his hands, or his forehead, carries a message. When you do it consciously, it becomes a language that builds emotional gravity between you two. A woman who knows how to express affection through small gestures doesn't need grand words. Her presence speaks for her. Her energy fills the room. And her man feels it in every quiet, sincere kiss. Because in the end, every man wants to be kissed in a way that says, I see you, I choose you, and I believe in you. You know, it's amazing. The most magnetic moments between two people often have nothing to do with fireworks. They're built in the silence after the laughter, in the gentle brush of a kiss that says, I'm with you. Even when words run out, that's what those 3 kisses are really about. Not just touch, but translation. Every kiss is a sentence in a language most people never learn to speak. The language of reassurance, admiration, and peace. A woman who understands this becomes unforgettable because she knows how to read emotion before she reacts to it. She listens not just with her ears, but with her presence. When she kisses his neck, she tells him you can drop the weight for a second. When she kisses his hands, she says, I see what you build and I'm proud of it. When she kisses his forehead, she whispers, you don't have to be strong right now. Each of those gestures hits a different note in his heart. Strength, validation, serenity, and together they create music. Here's keynote 1E. Real confidence isn't shown through loud passion, it's shown through calm intention. Because intention is what separates a moment from a memory. You don't have to be dramatic to be unforgettable. You just have to be present. Most people rush through connection trying to perform instead of feeling. Presence slows everything down. It turns seconds into significance. Think about it. When a man feels truly seen, his guard drops. He stops competing with the world and starts connecting with you. And that's when trust begins, not through words, but through consistency in small things. The way you look at him when he talks about his day, the way you reach for his hand when he's quiet, the way you kiss him goodnight, softly, deliberately, like you're sealing a promise. Here's keynote 2. Men don't remember the fancy moves. They remember the feeling of being accepted exactly as they are. That's the kind of memory that keeps replaying in his mind. Because acceptance is rare. The world tells men to perform. Love tells them to breathe. When you become the person who lets him breathe, you become the person he trusts with everything. Now, here's something most people overlook. When you show tenderness in small doses, you create polarity, that irresistible dance between energy and calm, passion and safety. It's what Matthew Hussey calls the emotional seesaw. Keep both excitement and grounding alive so the relationship never feels one-sided. Here's keynote 3, a balanced connection keeps both people chasing, not out of fear of losing each other, but out of excitement to keep discovering each other. That's what keeps love fresh. You can't always be the mystery. Sometimes you have to be the mirror. You reflect back his effort, his care, his vulnerability. That reflection builds gratitude. And gratitude fuels attraction more than anything else. So next time you're with him, remember those 3 kisses aren't instructions. They're reminders. Reminders to pause, to appreciate, to connect. The neck reminds you to mix strength with softness. The hands remind you to value effort. The forehead reminds you to protect peace. Together, they become a cycle of emotional intimacy that keeps growing stronger. And here's keynote 4, the way you express affection teaches your partner how to love you back. If you show love through patience, you invite patience. If you show love through gratitude, you inspire gratitude. If you show love through peace, you create a sanctuary neither of you wants to leave. You see, it's not about teaching someone what to do. It's about showing them what feels good and safe. People mirror what they experience. When a man experiences care that feels real, he starts to respond in kind. He becomes more attentive, softer, more protective, not because you asked him to, but because you activated that part of him. That's the secret most relationships miss. It's not about control, it's about invitation. You can't force a man to open up, but you can create an atmosphere where he wants to. Those 3 kisses are a metaphor for that atmosphere. They're the way you say, "You're safe with me." Now, as we wrap this up, remember this last truth. Keynote 5, attraction may begin with chemistry, but it lasts because of emotional rhythm. Rhythm means knowing when to lean in and when to let space breathe. It's the give and take that keeps curiosity alive. When you understand his rhythm, the way he gives, the way he protects, the way he sometimes hides behind silence, you learn how to reach him in ways no one else does. That's the real art of connection. It's not grand gestures, it's not constant contact. It's presence, respect, and emotional curiosity. So next time you think about those 3 kisses, think beyond the literal. Think of them as moments to say, "I respect your strength, I value your effort, offer you peace." That's how you build something deeper than attraction. You build devotion. Because a man might be drawn to mystery, but he stays for meaning. And meaning is built one small, sincere gesture at a time. So if you take anything from this talk, let it be this: every man wants to feel desired. Yes, but what he truly wants is to feel chosen. Every kiss, every touch, every look should tell him that. Not because he needs validation, but because that's how love grows, through mutual acknowledgement. Be the woman who knows that love isn't about performing romance, it's about embodying it. Who understands that softness is not weakness, and that affection doesn't make you smaller. It makes the bond stronger. Be the reminder he didn't know he needed. That real connection is slow, deliberate, and endlessly powerful. And as you walk away from this talk, remember, those 3 places aren't just where he wants to be kissed. They're the 3 places where love itself wants to live in vulnerability, appreciation, and peace. Because that's the kind of energy that keeps 2 hearts orbiting each other long after the moment fades. The kind that doesn't burn out, but glows quietly, endlessly, like something that finally found its rhythm. Most people stop once they think they've mastered the visible gestures, the hugs, the touches, the 3 meaningful kisses. But there's a 4th one that almost no one talks about, and it's the most powerful of all. It's the kiss you give without even touching him, the one that lives in the way you speak to him, the way you look at him when he isn't watching, the way you treat him when the room is silent. That invisible kiss is the energy you bring into the space between you. It tells him, "You matter even when I'm not beside you." It's the tone in your voice when you encourage him. It's the patience in your eyes when he's frustrated. It's the quiet belief you carry for him when he's doubting himself. That's what leaves a mark far deeper than any physical touch. Here's keynote 1. The strongest connection is built in how you make someone feel when they're uncertain about themselves. When a man feels believed in, he begins to expand. When he feels judged, he shrinks. You can choose which version of him you want to meet every day. The woman who becomes his peace doesn't rescue him, she reminds him of his power. Keynote 2, Every relationship has two languages, words and energy. Energy always speaks first. That's why confidence is magnetic. It's not about perfect hair or clever lines. It's about the calm in your presence. When your energy says, I'm enough, he relaxes. He stops trying to impress and starts trying to connect. So the next time you're together, notice how your energy enters the room before you do. Are you bringing tension or are you bringing ease? That awareness alone can shift everything. Keynote 3, the fourth kiss, is respect. Respect is the bridge between desire and trust. Respect shows up when you listen instead of assuming, when you speak with kindness even during conflict, when you give space instead of pressure. That's the kind of kiss that keeps attraction alive long after the spark of newness fades, because everyone craves to be admired not just for what they do right, but for who they are becoming. And when you give a man that kind of respect, you teach him to mirror it. He starts meeting you with the same tenderness, the same patience, the same curiosity. That's when love matures, when it turns from excitement into commitment, from heat into harmony. Keynote 4, lasting passion isn't maintained by constant excitement. It's maintained by continual appreciation. Appreciation is oxygen for love. It tells your partner, I still see you. The small thank you, the soft, I'm proud of you, the shared laughter, these are micro kisses for the relationship. They build a rhythm of gratitude that makes both people want to keep giving. And finally, keynote 5, the real art of intimacy is making the ordinary feel sacred. That's what these kisses are. Ways of turning the everyday into something meaningful. Whether it's a neck kiss, a hand kiss, a forehead kiss, or that invisible energy you radiate, each one is a chance to say, this moment matters, you matter. So when you leave today, try this before you speak. Pause for 1 second and remind yourself what you want the other person to feel. That 1 second of mindfulness turns a habit into connection. That's what Hussey always teaches beneath the surface, that love isn't about grand gestures, it's about intention layered into tiny actions. You don't need to shout your affection, whisper it through consistency. And as you do, you'll notice something incredible. The more you practice those invisible kisses, the more they come back to you, because people naturally mirror the energy that nurtures them. Give warmth and warmth returns. Give calm and calm follows you. So maybe there aren't just 3 places every man wants you to kiss. Maybe there's a 4th, and it's the most important one, his life. Kiss his life with kindness. Kiss his dreams with encouragement. Kiss his flaws with patience. That's how you create a connection that doesn't just survive time, but grows through it. Because in the end, the real goal isn't to make someone chase you, it's to build something worth staying for. And when your presence feels like peace, he'll never want to leave.